Hello, everybody, and welcome to NIU Esports League of Legends. We got a great game tonight, NIU versus Ball State. I'm Osti125, and with me, co-commentating is...
Hey everybody, it's Connor Vagel, as always for League of Legends, and yeah, we're just about to get into game. We're getting everything set up, so you guys should be seeing some rotating splash screens there. But looks like we should be getting ready to go very shortly. Looks like they're just finishing up final remarks between the teams at this point.
Mm-hmm. I know we have some fun events coming up regarding our Rocket League. Do you know more about that, Connor?
Yeah, so we're actually having Rocket League Rev Up. That is one of those rotating banners here. Uh, we are going to have that on Saturday, but we'll talk about that in between game because our we're getting ready to go, and I think they're going to jump on into game in just a second here.
Okay,
So with Champ Select.
sounds great. All right. Looks like we'll be going in soon. I know I've been watching the league team scrim, and I've been seeing them play a bunch of different things. So I'm curious to see what they're going to go with. I mean, they have a vast hero pool, from my understanding. So it looks like we could really see anything out here.
Yeah, I mean, this is this is going to be a interesting one for them. I know they've been game planning quite a bit for this matchup in particular.
Hmm.
Obviously, we saw them play one of the toughest teams in the conference on Saturday. They did fall 0-2, but they played pretty well to punch it above their ranks. Um, and we're kind of anticipating the same thing here with this one. We've got a couple of two masters, a grandmaster, and two diamonds on the side of Ball State, on the side of NIU, a couple of emeralds and three diamonds. So a little bit of a rank disparity, but really not that much.
Hmm.
And I think you're absolutely right. They've been playing a pretty wide champ pool,
Hmm.
and they've definitely got some things that they're interested in cooking up with the draft here. They were talking about earlier today as they were finishing up their final scrim before this one.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and I haven't done too much research into what Ball State plays, but I'm sure our team has been. I know a lot of pre-planning goes into all these matches and seeing what they play, how you're going to play around it. So I'm interested to see um, what's going to come out of that.
Yep, and we've got readies all around, so we're going to go ahead and jump into Champ Select
All
here
right,
with Ball State on the blue side.
let me
So,
switch it on over to our champ select screen.
all right. And immediately the Rumble going to be banned away here by the side of Ball State. No surprises there as B Chillin goes with that pick. Whenever he has it available, one of the strongest Rumbles out there, and Fiora going to immediately be the answer here from the side of NIU.
Looks like we've definitely done our research here on both sides.
Yep, Casante definitely something that NIU puts a little bit of priority towards, and that's going to be banned away. But then Pike again, we've seen T1 Quokka is a bit of a Pike one trick. He's played a few different champions, but definitely likes his Pike, and so they're going to go ahead and ban that one away. And Maokai now going to be taken off the board, which does change up some of that priority in the draft. I know that's been something that's heavily prioritized by both of these teams, and so we'll have to see where the draft adjustment goes, all things considered, with the Maokai banned away.
Absolutely. Let's see what these final few come in to be. We got a wide variety of things getting banned. I mean, a lot of planning involved. So let's see. I'm hoping we can still plot a good game. I mean, we talked about that wide hero pool from our side. I bet Ball State has the same, but it's always different. Playing
Yeah,
characters you're maybe not your most favorite character.
exactly. I mean, and that's interesting that NIU decides to ban away Quokka's Senna here.
Hmm.
I know that he was really for the beginning of the season looking at some of his champ pool. There
Hmm.
was a heavy prioritization on the Pike and then also into the Senna. And
Mm.
Varus is going to be what's locked in here for the side of Ball State.
Hmm.
Blue side, you definitely can put some priority on that Varus. It's strong enough right now that it can be blind pickable,
Hmm.
and so Ball State will elect to go that direction.
All right, we'll be getting our first pick from NIU here in just a second.
I wouldn't be surprised to see NIU answer with, yep, there it is, the Silas, and
Hmm.
definitely something that I know they had a little bit of priority on with that with their draft order here, and so this should give them a lot of priority in towards the mid lane. It also steals away something that Wombat Baby has been playing quite a bit,
Mm.
and so we'll see how they're able to use the Mage Seeker there.
Hmm.
And wow, there you go. It's going to be Leona, which I know they also were prioritizing in the draft. So NIU going a little bit towards what they were hoping to play for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I just saw when I walked by on the way in here that they were warming up on Silas during the pregame scrim. So, probably something they're comfortable on, probably something they just practiced. So, be very, very expecting a lot out of here. I mean, they were working on it, so should be a good showing.
Karma going to be picked up here by the side of Ball State. That one's been a heavy priority across the board since 14.2 came out.
Mm.
It can be played in the top lane, can be played as the support, which I think is probably the more likely scenario here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be the Nidalee, which means we certainly won't have Karma Jungle, which you wouldn't have expected anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely an interesting choice to not necessarily match the mid lane here, and now you can use their bans towards that one, and then even allow themselves the counter pick in the top lane potentially. So I think NIU did a really good job of playing the draft chess here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, the side of Ball State will have a little bit of ADC priority in their bans here, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But that one I think is a little less prioritized in
Mm-hmm.
this draft by NIU, so we'll have to see where they want to go with it.
Mm-hmm. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure this playing priority around the ADC and what you'd want to ban, taking bans in mid lane over potentially having your ADC banned, is kind of about what they're comfortable with, right? Is about if NIU wants to put a stronger opponent, a stronger matchup in mid, they might opt to try to take to secure that legend that they can play, versus the ADC is maybe a little more flexible. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. And I say all of that about how we're probably going to get mid lane bans from the side of NIU and
Mm-hmm.
ADC bans from the side of Ball State, and then they go and do three top lane bans. So uh, both both Fury and Silk really wanting to limit each other's champion pools, and then there's going to be the Jin. So we do get one ADC ban at least out of the side of Ball State, and
Mm-hmm.
that will be that Jin. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Sivir, where it's going to be able to sit a little bit further back,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of poke out some damage. Leona obviously has the lockdown that is available to her, so we'll have to see how that one goes. Because I think that this is definitely a good bot lane matchup here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aatrox for Ball State, Silk does have a lot of priority towards this champion. Although we did see at both games, I believe, against NIU here on Saturday, Fury had some interesting counterpicks available to it. So we'll have to see if he elects to go down that path as well today.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at some of that priority, I do wonder whether he's going to go back to the Kennen that he had played back in game one of of Saturday's matchup. My
Mm-hmm.
apologies.
Mm-hmm.
And
An Ash
it
for
is
bot.
going to be the fle- is that a
Oh.
var? Now this is an interesting draft mix-up here.
Mm-hmm.
So that either means that Karma is okay. They can really go a lot of different directions with this.
Mm-hmm.
This could be Ash as a support with Karma as a solo laner. It could be Ash as the AD with Varus as a solo laner. I mean, the biggest thing here is that that is a lot of squishiness coming through the middle of the lineup there for the side of Ball State. They've got Aatrox, who's going to be he's going to be their drain tank here, but definitely there's a little bit more of that bruiser build, that tankiness over on the side of NIU.
Mm-hmm.
The Ornn going to be something that allows them to scale up. And when we see the Call of the Forge God, it's always Fury's Call of the Forge Gods are always a priority here. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm genuinely curious how this one is going to play out. Looks like
Yeah.
right now that Karma is going to go mid. I would have expected maybe the Karma and Aatrox to flex, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess looking at it, maybe the Karma makes sense into the Silas, considering that stealing Karma's ulti doesn't do a whole lot for you in this
Mm.
matchup. But
Mm-hmm.
there's certainly a couple of ultis that are gonna be pretty impactful here if Silas is able to steal them. The World Ender for Aatrox
Mm-hmm.
is definitely one of those. Then the Chains of Corruption from Varus going to be a huge one, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Ashe obviously gives you some lockdown as well. So it might be they might have adjusted a little bit to that Silas, but I think there's definitely some interesting things going on with
Mm-hmm.
that draft. Definitely jump into the chat, everybody, and let me know if you think that NIU won that draft. Did Ball State just big brain us with this Ashe to kind of scare us, or to trick us, or I don't know how you want to say it. But yeah, or was it really just NIU had the better draft chess? I might
Yeah.
honestly argue that NIU does have a pretty good
Yeah.
draft chess in this one.
Yeah. So it looks like we got about 2 minutes till we're jumping in, and then we'll
Mhm.
have some game ready for you. Yeah, it definitely
Yep.
seems like a lot of interesting things could come out of this game. I mean, you mentioned the Ashe support. I've personally never seen it in my games, but I'm not too big of a league player. But I mean, I'm open to see it. It looks like Varus Ashe definitely could be a deadly combo. But I mean, I got a lot of faith in our NIU team to just play it safe. You know, they know exactly how to win their lanes, and they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, looking at
Even
it,
if it's unnatural, you know.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, looking at it, it's kind of a difference in two styles. You've got the bot lane for Ball State there is going to be looking to poke out. You know, they've got the Varus Q is going to be, or not, the Varus poke is going to come through. And I mean, that's going to do quite a bit. The volley from Ashe is also going to be a lot of poke damage. Whereas NIU's side, with the ulti from Sivir, with Leona being, pretty much a one-way champion, they want to go in. And so you're going to see a lot of all-ins from the side of NIU's bot lane more than likely,
Mm-hmm.
whereas on the side of Ball States, you're going to see a lot of poke. And we'll have to see that difference in styles and how that one plays out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a lot of crossing the distance, especially NIU's jungle. I mean, able to just get in and make those engagements definitely is going to be something that they're going to have to play around with someone who can get in very fast versus this very like long range, you know, Varus Ashe kind of longer range team. It might have a little bit of playstyle to adjust to mid game, but I'm certain that we can make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, we are going to jump on into game here. So across the board, not anything super sticking out as super interesting on the runes or anything like that. Summoner spells going to be double TPs for the side of Ball State, and then they're going to have cleanse on the ADC, and that's going to be heal on Kuoka's Ashe support. Whereas on the side of NIU, you see a teleport on the Ornn, but be chill and go with a little more aggressive summoner spell. He's going to have the Ignite, as well as Bootware also having Ignite. And NIU looking to potentially go for a 5 stack here, potentially invading. Ball State looking to do the same, but they're just going to go to opposite ends of the map, and they're just going to kind of wave to each other and hope that they find each other. But looking at that map, they are not going to see each other at all. And are you putting down some deep vision now? This could get spicy as the side of Ball State does look, with their invade, they're going to look to put down some vision as well and potentially steal away that blue buff. NIU does ping this out though, so it really depends if Wombat and Quokka stick around. Looks like there was a pause briefly, so we will get a little bit of a pause here.
And just to make sure that everything's right, looks like our camera should be right. Trying to get everything set up on the stream wise, but I think we are all good. But we'll have to see. I think we got everything set up. Looks like we'll be going in shortly after this pause.
Perfect. And yeah, it was just a very short pause, so looks like everybody's back to their stations. NIU's bot lane is kind of positioning here to be able to see if anybody's there. Now, extra loaded might get caught out there. Yep, they are going to place the ward. They're going to get vision. It will be cleared away, but NIU will do a nice job of knowing that this is going to be invaded. The blue buff is going to be stolen away here by the side of Ball State, and be chilling. Just going to go in early and take
Hmm.
take a little bit of damage himself, get traded back, and overall kind of an even trade, but does elect to just start it off and a little aggressively here in this game. And now this is kind of what you would expect, especially with the potential of the dive here from the side of Ball State. The Nidalee starting on the blue buff gives you a little bit of worry if you're NIU, especially with this poke comp from the side of Ball State. And yeah, this is exactly what you want to avoid,
Hmm.
is just that poke damage coming out and Nidalee potentially being able to dive you here. So NIU spot lane having to play very safe, but obviously Nidalee's job here is going to be to try to just steal some of the is going to be try to steal as much of the jungle down there as she can, but then also try to force out a summoner spell on the bot lane.
Absolutely. We're seeing some early aggression out of many of our lanes here. A lot of little back and forth chip damage. Looks like we might see some action towards the mid lane here.
Yeah, just a big trade there from Silk, but now Wombat Baby's going to get caught. He's going to be forced to flash. NIU's going to follow, and they're going to be able to grab the damage. So that's going to be the Ignite coming through, but is it going to be First Blood going over? The shield is too much, and NIU is going to lose First Blood. Broccoli's going to be there. He's going to trade one back. He's going to get two, and a really nice play there by NIU's jungler, Broccoli, able to turn that one around and grab a double kill for himself. And so while NIU does lose the First Blood on that one, they're going to come away even in gold and up a kill after all is said and done.
Absolutely. I mean, great double out there. You know, it's unfortunate that we lost one, but definitely a 2-for-1. I mean, we'll take that any day.
Absolutely. And I mean, on the Xin Zhao, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be able to grab all of those long swords. I mean, that's going to build directly into your first item and really just gives you that increased speed on your clear. Obviously, a little bit difficult for him now, considering that his entire bot lane or his entire bot side of the jungle has been stolen. But we'll have to see. Obviously, both of these junglers posturing towards the bot lane. NIU may elect to try to see if they can grab something with this pretty strong Xin Zhao. Now he's just going to look for a lane gank. There's going to be a bit of damage coming through, but NIU just going to go ahead and poke this one back and back away. But no, NIU now goes ahead and goes in. Quokka going to use the heal, and Broccoli might be in a rough position here. He is going to fall, and it is going to be the flash forward. Now that's going to be two, and actually up in the top lane, Fury gets solo killed as well. And all of a sudden, across map, that's a 3-for-0, and not quite the play you wanted if you're NIU. A little bit over-aggressive, and they get forced to pay for that one.
Absolutely. We're seeing some counter aggression, though, from Fury trying to take back his lane. Trying to get a little handhold.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a little bit scary, though. He's taken pretty low, and that Aatrox having an extra level does mean that he could realistically try to force this one out. So we'll have to see if Fury's able to hold on to that one.
Absolutely.
Now, the reason both these top laners are playing really aggressively is they want to be able to get positioning for this for these grubs, and it does look like mid lane's going to be able to rotate first from Ball State. Broccoli going to be in a rough position. He's going to dive away here. Silas is here. Is he going to be able to grab anything? No, that's going to be the jungler here from the side of Ball State, able to grab quite a bit. Nidalee going to be taken low, and wow, not actually even going to trade turret aggro. So it does mean that Broccoli is going to fall as well, and it will be a 4-1-1 Nidalee already here in this one. And that's not quite where you want to start if you're NIU. Obviously, Bootware roaming up towards this mid lane just to hold and potentially look to go for the grubs. NIU does elect to go away from that one, though, and just try to grab some pressure on towards the bot jungle. And yeah, you can see that the farm difference is really stacking up here. That's a 36-16 farm differential on the junglers here, so not quite where you want to be, and a lot of that comes down to just having the entire rotation of the bot lane stolen here by the side of Ball State.
Absolutely. That invade right off of level 1 was it was quite a big one. We're kind of seeing the effects of it right now for sure.
Yeah, I mean, calling attention to the 7 stacks on the Dark Seal as well from Nidalee, I mean, that's a very scary spot to be in if you're NIU. You really don't want to fight that Nidalee if you can avoid it. NIU does look to potentially just lane gank this, though, with the bot lane. Xin Zhao is here. The Zenith Blade does miss. So does the Q here from Xin Zhao. But we're just going to stay alive, and NIU now going to go ahead and actually they're going to stick around with this one because the Silas is here. Ultimate going to be used. Chains of Corruption does get used, and it's going to be cleansed. Now that's going to be the kill going over to Be Chillin. Nicely played by NIU, able to grab the kill here in the bot lane, and they'll get something back on the board. And despite that, they'll still be down about 3,000 gold, but they'll at least be starting to get their champs online.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw great timing for Silas to rotate down from mid. I mean, really able to help out and get that kill there. I think it would have been kind of a wash without him.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is going to be Fury taken very low. I don't know that he's going to die here, but yeah, now with Broccoli, this is a level 6 Nidalee, and that means that with the Ashe already rotating up too, it just... Broccoli's in a rough spot. I mean, he's lost both of his blue buffs so far this game. He's died 3 times, and this is just the effect of having the constant pressure and the constant invades into your jungle, and it does allow the side of Ball State to just continue to put pressure on these objectives. They're going to go ahead and try for this for this Ocean Drake, and that is a 5-1 and 1 Nidalee with almost full stacks on the Dark Seal at 8 minutes. That's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we're seeing this rotate from bottom up to try to get the Ocean Drake. Kind of hanging around bot side. Little engages here and there, but I mean, like you were saying, it's hard for Broccoli to to roam his jungle with that level diff from Nidalee. I mean, if she's hiding in a bush, you're kind of done.
Yeah, I mean, really, just the biggest emblematic piece of this jungle trade differential that's going on right now is if you look at the Moss Stomper stacks, that is a 28 stack Xin compared to the side of Nidalee, who's on 20 right now. So, and at one point that was 31 to 30. So, or 31, sorry, to 20. And so just that difference is going to be pretty rough to overcome. I mean, it does mean Chin's Corruption do land on top of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Now, NIU going to go in on this one, though. Nicely done to predict the flash. Well done by Beach Hill. And Wombat Baby is going to fall. And just a really, really nice play by the mid laner and the jungler here of NIU. Able to grab that one. Going back to that fight down bot side, the cleanse was used by X Reloaded. And just unfortunate that the Varus and Ashe did get level 6 first, but NIU able to grab the trade kill in towards the top or in towards the mid lane, and really well played by the Huskies.
Looks like we are rotating down towards bot. There's probably going to be an engagement here. Looks like we have 3, maybe 4 moving in.
Yeah, there is, and nicely done over the wall, just baiting out, and that's actually going to be a fail flash there by the Ashe. She did probably get out of that one if she didn't flash. If she didn't fail the flash, but NIU able to do enough to keep themselves relatively even in this. Now, Bootware, nicely done to flash away from it, but just going to be flash back, and this should be traded with the turret. Yeah, there it's going to be the shutdown going over to Silas, and now Be Chillin' in a nice spot. He might be able to actually dash forward and grab this with his chains, but does elect to just back away with the Abscond and Abduct, and it does mean that that is a 3-2 and 3 Silas. Now, let's be clear that the farm differential in all these lanes is a lot of where that gold difference is coming from. I mean, that is a 30 CS differential in the top lane, 30 in the jungle. Flashing over the wall, Bootware going to engage here. Zenith Blade does land. Karma going to be able to get out of that one. Quokka just going to use a volley over the wall, and we'll be able to escape.
Yeah, we're seeing kind of this rotate. I mean, we already saw the shift happen with Silas going down bot, and now bot rotating towards mid. So we're going to see kind of the start of a different game here. It's always a big turning point.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Xin Zhao. He's able to finish off his Tiamat, so that's pretty big, and get the first upgrade to the Smite. So he does have the even Smite with Nidalee here, but that is a full Lich Bane finished off from the side of Nidalee. So just a rough spot to be in. Immediate cleanse on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Just a lot of damage going in towards the Sivir. But able to survive. So, actually, sorry, not cleanse. That was her spell shield. My apologies. But, yeah, overall, NIU able to get out of that one. Just going to continue to look to farm and try to, stave off some of this deficit. As that's really The scary part of this comp is just the Nidalee arrows, or the Nidalee spears coming over the wall can
Hmm.
really chunk you out at this point if you're not careful about the vision. Silas figuring that out now. He's going to go ahead and go in on this one. He'll be able to dive forward, and yeah, now there's going to be a lot of damage coming through from the Ball State bot lane. But NIU going to go ahead and go in here. This is the call of the Forge God, and a lot of damage on towards the Aatrox. Does go over towards Bootware the kill, but NIU doing a nice job of evening out these kills, and now they should be able to push on towards this top tier 1 turret.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a great engage. I mean, 3-on-1, and barely anyone from NIU took any damage on that top battle. Looks like we did lose bottom side turret, though, in that scuttle, so...
Yeah, it looks like because of that, NIU going to look to clear out some vision here in their bot side jungle once again. Ball State just really putting pressure on this blue buff to try to force out the jungle, or force out the fight against Dragon here. Teleport's not available for Silk. Fury does have his available, but it looks like he'll just walk on towards top lane. Not going to top laner's not going to join this Dragon fight. NIU does elect to. It looked like they were going to try to engage here with the Q. Silas is here, though, so we'll see if NIU is able to get any picks. They do see that Broccoli's going to get the spear on him, but it's going to be a lot of damage, all going to be forced out by Broccoli, and he's actually going to flash here. That's now Chains of Corruption, followed up and going to be landed, but it does get cleansed, so that's going to be Bootware actually stepping a little too far, but that's going to be the ultimate use from Leona. Not able to grab anything. And NIU does have to elect to just back away from this one as they do lose their support in a little bit of too far forward overstepping action.
Looks like we're going to
Both
see a
top
nice
laners did
regroup.
rotate. Yeah. Top laners did both rotate down to just fight for this dragon. Does mean that NIU going to go ahead and go forward. Now this is going to be the heal already used, and the abduct does mean the kill goes. Ooh, no, actually, Silas going to get killed off with just the kiting forward. Now that's going to be the Zenith Blade used by Leona. Not able to grab a whole lot out of that, and NIU going to lose their mid laner for nothing much at this point, and now Fury just taking a lot of damage. He's going to be able to trade a little bit back, but oh no. Recalling in vision is not what you want to do if you're extra loaded, and he does get blown up by the empowered Q there from Karma. And NIU just making some small mistakes. I think they definitely can come back in this one, but they're making those small mistakes and playing a little bit too far forward without vision, just like that on the. Yeah, I mean, this is just a tough situation to be in. Ball State having complete control of the vision does mean that NIU really can't step much of anywhere without Ball State knowing exactly where they're falling.
Mm-hmm. And we do have 2 dragons to the side of Ball State and that 6 grub stack, so a lot of hurt coming out towards those towers, and definitely feeling the buffs of the dragon if you're Ball State right now.
Yeah, I mean, between that and now they're going to go ahead and get that Rift Herald. Now, this could be Karma falling as well. Be chilling, going to be forced after stealing out the Karma ulti. Not able to grab anything out of that one, so it will just be the disengage from Karma here, and Be chilling will continue to farm out this bot lane, but now Wombat Baby is going to stick around, and with the with Broccoli here, that was a little bit aggressive. Now using the flash, going to be forced out of Wombat Baby, and now you're going to be able to re-engage on this one, and just a very cocky play coming out from Wombat, assuming that Beachillin had already backed, and then also re-engaging even after the failed attempt at the after being able to escape. Just not a really thought out play there by the side of Wombat Baby, and he'll get punished for it. Aatrox sitting on the pro. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I was going to say, we're seeing a lot of extended into NIU's jungle side, especially by this Aatrox. I mean, we're seeing a lot of vision, like we've been saying, but even getting all of Ball State's members just on our jungle side, not what you like to see.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, now NIU going to look to potentially engage here. They're going to go ahead and use the Call of the Forge God on towards the Ash. Not going to land, but Quokka just going to get burned down by Beach Hill. And NIU does take a lot of damage on the backside here, so they're going to have to they're going to have to be getting back into this one because they're a little split off. Beach Hill going to be a little bit split off from the team, and now this could be Broccoli falling. It is going to be Broccoli taken down here. Now flash forward, Nidalee going to go ahead and do that. That is going to be the trade back, but will NIU be able to get the shutdown here on the Nidalee? It is not going to happen. Triple kill goes over towards I-111. I don't even know how you pronounce that one. It's just Nidalee. And Nidalee now going to place that Rift Arrow down and is going to control it for the extra damage. That'll be NIU's mid lane inhibitor turret falling. And at 17 minutes, Ball State is in a really advantageous position and actually will re-steer this one, flashing forward aggressively as Silk. He's going to fall for that, but we'll see if NIU is able to do anything more off of it. Zenith Blade is going to miss from the Karma boot, or from the Leona bootwear. Janet Cristallero also missed from Quokka, who's back in the fight. And we'll see if NIU looks to re-engage. I would imagine they're probably going to look to just back out of this one. They do look to put the Q over the wall from the Xin Zhao, and I'm not 100% sure that this fight is over, despite both teams having health bars low. Beach Hill and having to dash out. That's going to be the Chains of Corruption do land, and Chum Slug is going to grab the kill for himself. And now Extra Loaded just barely steps away from that Nidalee spear, but we'll have to see if he's able to step away from the additional damage. Does spell shield that one out, and so I think this fight is finally over.
And right back into NIU's jungle side is where Ball State likes to call home right now. Definitely a little bit of trouble, a little bit hard to get a foothold, especially if you're Broccoli trying to catch up to that level 12 Nidalee. It's definitely going to take a bit of action, but I mean, if anyone can do it, it's NIU.
Yeah, Silk going ahead and using the full combo there on towards the Ornn. Really, I mean, for NIU, I think your win condition right now is just to continue to scale. Fury sitting on level 11, so he's not quite able to upgrade any items yet. He does have the Sunfire cape, so if he's able to hit 13, he should be able to get that first upgrade out. Now, Varus stepping a little too far forward. We'll see. That's going to be Chains landing, flash forced and ulti from this Aatrox, or from this Varus, I should say. And NIU able to force something out, so at least Ball State playing a little bit over aggressively. Beach Hill going to be spotted by the wave here, so not really sure that he's going to be able to get the dive in. Fury going to be doing the same and just dashing away. And NIU just playing a little bit on either side. Third Drake going to go over towards the side of Ball State, so NIU electing to not even contest that and just really contest on the Elder Drake here that should spawn if the soul is taken. And overall, just a lot of poke coming through from the side of Ball State. Now, Dash comes forward. Broccoli almost had the knockup available to him, but not able to do so. Lots of damage. Wow, that is a long-range chains. Nicely done to actually use the Bellows Breath and the Flash to be able to not get stunned by that one. Ornn able to grab, or Ornn able to get out of that one. Fury. And NIU just going to look to see if they can't get some damage on towards the jungle here, the Nidalee. But just a little bit too much with the self move speed buff and the addition of the Karma buff for the Nidalee. NIU just going to go ahead and clear the waves. We'll see what they want to do moving forward with that.
A lot more jungle being taken. We did lose topside tower, so a little more pressure on especially these objectives. Keeping NIU kind of back in their base. A little trouble.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at Ornn 2, we should see he's about halfway to level 13, so he should be getting something upgraded soon, but yeah, NIU, now Bootwear in a bad position. He's going to be chunked out to half. He's going to actually re-engage right back on towards the Nidalee, but really not a lot of health taken off of that Nidalee, and now that's going to be Broccoli just stunned up with that long-range Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Ball State just going to go ahead and just run forward. Not really a whole lot that NIU can do here, and you have to imagine that at 21 minutes, this is going to be Ball State's attempt at ending the game. Call the Forge God going to be canceled out, and Chum Slug is going to be able to grab the damage on towards Fury. NIU not going to be able to land the chains here from Be Chillin'. I'll just go ahead and try to throw out some damage. Bootware back respawn does flash back again, and it will be damage going through. Be Chillin' going to try to grab something, but not able to grab enough, and now Ball State just looking for kills, and it won't end up happening. NIU will fall 20-10, but that goal difference is really the big kicker. 21 and a half minutes in.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw a strong game from both sides. I mean, right away, it really could have gone towards either side, but we did see, a couple mistakes from both sides. Unfortunately, Ball State able just to capitalize and pull out a little bit more ahead.
Yep. So looking at chat, we do see that the overlay is a bit off. So I
Yep.
think we're gonna have to move the if you get the chance.
Yep.
I think the mini map should be up at 100%. It looks like, and then the actual HUD should be maybe at 25%. I
Okay.
would say.
Yeah,
So we'll
trying
go
to
ahead and get
figure
that
this
fixed for
out.
map 2.
Absolutely. Trying to make those changes now. I know before game we didn't get a great chance to talk about it, but let me see if I can get it pulled up here if we want to talk about our Rocket League Rev Up, that special event we're doing between NIU and NASCAR.
Yeah, so this Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. NIU Esports Arena. So right around the same time we're going to be doing this League of Legends match. Now, I'll interrupt myself to say we are looking to see if that might get rescheduled. So keep your eyes on our social media channels as we will let you know if that time does change. But from 2 to 6 p.m. in the NIU Esports Arena, we're going to be doing the Rocket League Rev Up powered by the NIU or by the NASCAR Chicago Street Course. It's a great event for the whole family. We're going to have a free Rocket League tournament that we do ask that you register beforehand. The URL to go for that is going to be go.niu.edu/Rocket League Rev Up. And we do ask that you register beforehand, but otherwise, everything else, or it is free to enter the tournament. Everything else is free throughout the day. We're going to have open play for Rocket League. We're going to have giveaways provided by the NASCAR Chicago Street Course team. We're also going to see the simulator. They're going to bring in a race simulator where you can race the virtual NASCAR Chicago Street Course. You're going to be able to meet a professional sim racer from Kevin Harvick Inc. That's going to be Matt Busa, who competes in the eNASCAR iRace or Coca-Cola iRacing series. And to top it all off, you're going to get the opportunity to look and see a true NASCAR Chicago Street Course pace vehicle. So a lot of cool stuff that we're going to have going on for that one. We do invite everybody to come out and attend that event. So looking forward to it, and hopefully we see as many of you there as possible.
Absolutely. I
Looks
mean,
like
that sounds great. Sounds like a great event. Hoping to check it out myself.
absolutely, I'll be there for sure. Looking at it, going back to the league game that we're on though, does look like NIU going to go ahead and choose blue side for this one. So that does mean that the draft will be a little different. It'll be in some different priorities for the Huskies here, and so we'll have to see exactly what NIU elects to do at this point. Should be getting back in the game very shortly, but yeah, I mean, so Austin, what were your thoughts on what did NIU need to do to change things up to potentially grab a win in game number 2?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, we saw a strong start, and we definitely saw a lot of well-timed rotations. I mean, we saw a couple times, NIU is kind of right where they need to be. We had a good Silas rotate down towards bottom for a clean 3v1. We had a good rotate up to top for a nice 3v1 on Aatrox. I mean, we're seeing a lot of these well-timed engagements, and I think some of the faults that we might be seeing here come down to maybe just getting a little mixed up in the timing of when to go in, when to play it safe, and maybe overstepping a little bit. I mean, we did see a couple of times where you step a little too far, and with the advantage that Ball State had, I mean, you kind of pay for it. So definitely timing those engages is something that I'm looking to see NIU iron out, and I definitely think they can. I mean, we saw great engages on ganks, and when we had the 3v1s, but keeping your eyes open where the enemy could be, just thinking ahead of where might they want to be right now, and where should I be a little bit worried about stepping right now.
Yeah, and to that point, I really think that NIU is going to look to. I think that Nidalee probably won't be allowed back into this game. I mean, that was a bit of a strong pick, and it definitely took over the game quite
Absolutely.
quickly. And it made it very difficult for NIU to be able to even use their own jungle. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that just came down to the vision control that Ball State was able to have. I mean, to your point, NIU was making a lot of good moves and aggressive plays. Unfortunately, Ball State knew those were coming and were able to they were able to bring somebody over to answer at all points. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully that they will hopefully they'll be able to do something about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we might be jumping in soon, so just hang out with us, and we'll try to get you back in the action soon.
Perfect.
All right, looks like we almost have Champ Select ready. NIU's ready. Looks like we're just getting everything ironed out. Looks like maybe people leaving and rejoining, so trying to get that
Yep.
ironed out, but back in game shortly.
Just in the wrong order for Champ Select, so
I
they're
see.
going to go ahead and grab the right order, and then Brackley saying that it was a fun game. What can he say? So, a little excited starting up before both sides were ready. We are ready on the production side, so hopefully the side of Ball State will be ready soon, and then we'll be able to jump on into game.
Absolutely. And like we briefly mentioned, NIU is going to be on blue side, so we'll see a slightly different draft, and just seeing what'll come out. I'm wondering, what we're going to keep the salmon. I know we talked about Nidalee being banned, but, we might keep the Ornn up top. We might keep, kind of stuff roughly the same, but, we could see a whole new game.
Absolutely. I mean, with the blue side, I know NIU has some different prioritization on the blue side, so I'm truly curious where they go with this one, because they were talking about some stuff that, let's just say that the jungler in me was excited for some of the stuff they were talking about. I think they have some cool things cooking for the blue side.
All right.
But we'll have to see if that's the direction they go for.
Yeah.
Fiora going to be once again that first ban. No surprises there. Rumble, once again, no surprises on the side of Ball State. Pike, yep. I think we're just. I don't think we're going to be surprised by these early bans. I wouldn't. This might be a little bit different. It might be the Nidalee that goes away here. I would have to imagine in that case. But we'll have to see if that's the direction that Ball State wants, or that NIU wants to go. Nope, it's going to be the
Interesting.
Karma taking that off the board.
Yeah.
They don't want to play it themselves, and I think that's a fair choice to ban it away in that case.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a lot of strong usage out of Karma. Definitely a lot of help.
Yep, a lot of engaged potential there from Maokai going to be taken off the board. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that NIU had some answers to that one, but I think ooh, that's a little different
Ooh.
than what I thought it was going to be. I thought that we were going to see something else than that, but I do like the Graves in this situation. A first pick gets Broccoli some comfort and definitely something that's strong and aggressive in the 1v1.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Graves a very fun champ to play.
Varus and Italy going to come
Ooh.
right back at you from the side of Ball State. So obviously, it's not a salty run back. They have the advantage of having won game number one of this best of three. So
Mm-hmm.
if they want to run back the same thing, they can elect to do that. And with the Silas, we'll see a lot of the same picks as we saw in game number one. Of course, if that gets locked in, it could potentially be just a hover, and it will be locked from the side of NIU.
Let's see what our
I'd
last
imagine,
pick is.
yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be the ADC here
Yeah.
to answer the Varus, or you take priority on that support. And yep,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. The Nautilus is going to take priority there, so really gets that Silas priority for the mid lane, allows extra loader to play something a little bit more of what he wants to after the bans.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that we're probably going to see the support answered here. Maybe something like an Ashe. Oh no, they're going to hover the mid lane. There's a few different champs that could go mid. Talia, obviously another poke champ. TF, very strong right now, especially with that AD build. I would imagine. Actually, you've got quite a bit of AP in the Nidalee. You got a decent amount of, you can kind of do mixed damage or either or with Varus. So, kind of gives a little bit of a wrinkle into this one with the Twisted Fate. Very likely going towards the mid lane.
And now into our second wave of bans. We'll see what's coming out here.
A
Interesting.
Kaisa ban, and that's interesting. I'm
Hmm.
not sure why. Hmm. Okay.
I'm trying to
It
limit
is a
some
ban.
ADC.
I
Yep.
mean,
Some
it
ADC
sure,
ban.
yeah, it certainly pinches the pool of ADCs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not
Hmm.
not sure that I like it as much. I do like the Darius ban. Keep that away from Silk. That is one of his strong champions. So
Mm-hmm.
give something a little bit stronger over towards Fury, a better matchup for himself. And I
Mm-hmm.
say that, and we'll probably end up seeing something like the Aatrox, Ken and Aatrox Ornn again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we'll have to see. Where does the side of Ball State want to go with this one? They go ahead and ban away the Jhin once again. So really pinching that ADC pool, uh, kind of giving extra loaded a different type of champ to have to play. And Senna going to be taken off the board, so limiting that pool of range supports as well. Heimerdinger going to be the hover.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to say Camille
yeah.
might have been a more viable pick there, especially with some of the
Mm-hmm.
buffs that she got with this patch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Certainly not the absolute strongest pick, but in the hands of Silk, I wouldn't be surprised if it looks quite strong.
Mm-hmm.
NIU going to go ahead and look to get their. We'll see if they want to answer with their top lane. It doesn't really matter whether they go top lane into ADC here. They go ahead and pick up that Sivir once again. So it will be that support that they're having to worry about here in the bot lane. And we'll see what NIU likes to do for the top lane here. As again, Sivir Nautilus plays very similarly to that Leona Sivir that we saw in the last game, and now Fury gonna pick up that Aatrox and take that away from the side of Ball State. Obviously, Silk having already picked his champ,
Oh, are we gonna see Camille mid? Is this perhaps the top pick?
it could be. I'd be surprised.
I see
Oh,
Singed hovered, and Yoni I
is
guess could be
this
mid, but
is this the Camille support?
oh.
All right. Well, Draft Kingdom. Uh, yeah, I
Wow.
don't even know what to say about this at this point. It's Wow. Ball State is strong. They want to show that. I mean, they can play a lot of different champs, I guess. Are
Even
they?
swapping Yone down to ADC? No.
I I kind of wonder if that was maybe a choice of if Yone and Varus were potentially going to be played by the opposite players and just kind of role swapping for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily they got that back in before the 20-second lock-in time is, so
Mm-hmm.
that's good. But yeah, gonna be an interesting one. I'm not 100% sure how this matchup is gonna play. I mean, that Camille definitely a lot of engage from that support, but not really sure how you go about playing with it or against it, to be brutally honest here.
Yeah. I mean, we could see some good shutdown of some movement with Nautilus. Definitely takes away a bit of Camille's movement. Can't just run it down as you might be able to, in a 1v1 lane like top. Kind of isolated. You can play your movement, you can move around, but with Nautilus, you have to put a little more respect to it, but definitely interesting.
Yeah, I do wonder if that means that they're going to try to do the ultimate, drop that on top of Sivir, and then kind of knock Nautilus away, so that Varus can
Mm-hmm.
just kind of grab some damage. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean that's been the new flavor of the month, has been these Camille engaged supports. So I am genuinely curious to see how this one ends up playing. Um, and I think we've got some interesting. We're gonna have an interesting game in front of us. That's for sure. Because
Absolutely.
I'm not sure that there's really anybody that knows 100% how this one's gonna go. Now, Yone is gonna be mixed damage. Varus is gonna be mixed damage.
Mm-hmm.
Nidalee is gonna be AP. Camille probably AD, uh, and physical damage, which makes me wonder if Twisted Fate. I really don't know which of his builds he's going to go in this one, and that's a bit scary if you're NIU because you don't really know how to itemize against the comp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure the players they have a little bit more experience with this than I, but yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of that mind games being played right now
Mm-hmm.
for this one.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely with starting items, you might not be able to have the counter, but pretty soon into the game, you might be able to tell what Twisted Fate's going to be building and definitely able to counter it a little bit. But there's a lot to look to counter here. I mean, playing that Camille support, do you look to capitalize on maybe a weak support side? Do you try to just put your resources somewhere else? I mean, it's definitely going to be a kind of where do you want to put your more of your resources towards?
Absolutely, and I mean, at least we don't have to wait long for them to answer that question because we've
Yeah.
got about 30 seconds before the game starts here, and we'll definitely have to take a look and figure that one out, as it is gonna go ahead and load us into game here. Um, Overall, we're gonna see that that pretty standard summoner spells, runes, same thing as last game. We do see the Conqueror on the Aatrox, Fleet Footwork on the Graves. This time we're going to see Silas with the Teleport and the Conqueror. Lethal Tempo and Cleanse for the Sivir, and that is going to be Guardian and Ignite for the Nautilus. Whereas on the side of Ball State, they're going to 5-point. Both teams are not 5-point. They're going to 5-stack. Both teams are actually going to answer this one with the bot lane, and we might see an early fight here, as does not look like Ball State's going to have vision here, and they are going to sweep it out. But NIU going to go ahead and go in. Flash going to be forced from Ball State. This is going to be a lot of damage. Flash comes out from NIU. First blood over the Sivir, and now NIU going to have to get out of this one, as they do find a lot of flashes. Flash forward comes through from Silk. He's going to grab one kill. NIU going to lose another, and overall, this is going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Ball State. And NIU got the first blood, got the aggressive play, but they got punished for it dearly. If there's any consolation, the flashes came through. Well, you actually believe you won. Nope, you tied that summoner spell battle. That's going to be 5 used for NIU. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 used for Ball State. Overall, NIU taking the lead out of that one. And that may be the one consolation you see. Now, Fury, this is a little rough. That is Silk 1, 0, and 2. And he's already got the dagger. So, not quite where you want to be if you're NIU's top laner. Quokka gonna actually, I didn't even notice that, but that is a that's a hail of blades on the support here from the side of Ball State. Now NIU, B Chillin just gonna fall as well, and overall I think Ball State just looking to play this even faster than match number one or than game number one, and now the invades start. This is Graves getting invaded on. Will he be able to even get his last Raptor? Should be fighting over this one. NIU gonna go ahead and, oh no, stun doesn't land from Beach Hill, and that'll be a tough position to be in. Broccoli gonna be taken very low. Flash comes out, does just barely get away from the spear, and that is a 2-0 and 2 TF with only 4 farm in 3 minutes. This game has already just been a bloodbath.
Absolutely. I mean, tough level 1 fight for NIU, but it's not over till it's over.
Across the board, I think NIU, the one place that, well, I mean, at least you got some farm back on the Silas here. And TF going ahead and just recalling. So he's already sitting. Oh my goodness. That is a Purchase Shard at 3 minutes. The energy build is definitely online for this TF. So not a fun place to have to be if you're NIU. We'll have to see if they're able to kind of turn this one around. But I mean, the big point is going to be this is a lot of engage from the side of Ball State, and they're using it pretty well so far. Junglers kind of looking at opposite sides of the map. Graves up towards the top side, Nidalee going back towards the bot lane. So NIU needing to be careful here. They do have vision of the Nidalee getting over here, so they'll have to just kind of step away from that spear and able to do so nicely.
And we're seeing Quokka waiting in the bush for an engage here. This might not be good.
Yeah, does elect to step away. Would have been a tough situation for NIU to be in, but able to get away from that one. So well played by NIU. Also, Silas just roaming over to kind of back up his bot lane as needed. Now, Graves is going to be here. NIU might elect to try to go for the Twisted Fate here. And yeah, Wombat maybe not sitting on Vision. He's going to go ahead and Ghost. Not able to get the yellow card as well. NIU going to use Fury's Flash here. He's going to get away from that one. But yeah, with the stun, well, yeah, with Nidalee here, Twisted Fate's looking to potentially turn this one around, but NIU does have Nautilus here to be able to potentially look for these grubs, and that's going to be the stun on towards Nidalee, and that's going to be the kill going over towards NIU. Now we'll see, that's going to be a flash forward. NIU able to grab 2, the shutdown going over towards Aatrox, and really nicely done by the Huskies, able to punish the over-aggressive play here by the side of Ball State. NIU will grab the grubs, and they'll at least get 1 here. Potentially look for a second. Yep, they'll go ahead and just clear them out as Ball State already knows they're doing them, so they will just clear these out. 2 over to the side of NIU. Ball State electing to just go for this one. They're pinging it out, but Bootware doing a nice job of keeping the side or keeping Quokka away from Broccoli here and able to finish off the grubs, not the Krugs, is NIU.
Absolutely. I mean, just like that, NIU's kind of back in it. The goal difference, closing a little bit, getting some more kills on the board. That shutdown's definitely helping.
Absolutely. Now, Quokka, a little bit over aggressive, just sitting here and really roaming away. I mean, really, the big thing that this does is it allows Nidalee to continue to just try to farm outside of, or farm in NIU's base. Now, Quokka gonna have to dash away from this one, and with Nautilus here already, yeah, there's going to be the hook shot to get away. But NIU may just look to continue to push these and farm under turrets, and slowly but surely they're chipping away a bit by bit at that gold lead. And so, oh, Nautilus, the dredge line almost landed, but not able to do so. And so I think the next fight we're really going to see is over that first Drake, the Infernal Drake. Nautilus, he might get caught here. That's going to be hook shot forward. Bootwear taken very low. Is he going to be able to get out of this one? No, he is not. The gold card does land. Kill going over towards the side of the Nidalee. And she is once again starting that early aggression. NIU decides to just give up this Drake. They'll rotate Broccoli up towards the top side. And now, actually, Ball State in a little bit of a advantageous position here. Be chillin', gonna get double stunned up. Now able to use the Absonic Deduct, but Quokka flashing forward, able to grab the kill. And just as soon as we said that NIU was getting back in this one, the aggressive plays start going Ball State's way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, especially with that Quokka rotating up towards mid, definitely putting a lot of pressure on this mid lane here. Definitely chipping away at some plates, getting extra gold there, and causing some problems.
Stolen ultimate, stolen destiny is going to be used over by B Chillin, and that'll be the kill going over towards him, on towards this Twisted Fate. And NIU going to look to try to contest this dragon. It does get taken, but is NIU going to be able to grab the Nidalee before she escapes? The spear does not land, so NIU will just go ahead and they're continuing to put the pressure, though. Now, we do see that in top lane there's a fight going on, but yeah, Fury taken very low. Might be able to get out of this one. No, ulti is going to land here from the Yone. Chumslog going to be able to kill Broccoli, but NIU doing some damage on the backside. Not able to do quite enough, and that'll be a 3-for-0 over to the side of Ball State, and very likely, or sorry, 2-for-0, now a 3-for-0. And yeah, not a great spot to be in if you're NIU. Quickly, that lead has just blossomed out to 4.4k, and probably going to be more when Ball State gets the chance to just push down this turret, especially with the Storm Razor already finished here on the Twisted Fate. So moving towards that crit build, the physical damage build that's gotten a little bit stronger with this patch. Now, Quokka taking about half HP, but no one there to follow up, and so NIU just going to continue to bleed out bit by bit here, and really having to find a way to slow the bleeding.
I'm looking to see what's going to happen down here bot side as Quokka is rotating. We're going to probably see an engage here pretty soon. Catching the ward out in the bush, though, so we'll see what comes of this rotate.
Yeah, especially with Nidalee already positioning herself down towards this one. Luckily, NIU does have vision here of the jungle, or of the river at least, so NIU does still step a little too far forward. Nice flash, able to get away from that one. Bootwear now going to be taken very low. That is actually going to be, oh wow, unfortunate timing and miscommunication from the side of NIU. That was the chains of corruption used, and unfortunately, when Nautilus flashed over those, it did mean that they then landed on X Reloaded, and so Sivir then just blew up with the additional procs from it. Luckily, the one positive you can take from this is that Ball State is not going to look to contest on the Krugs or the Grubs at all. So we'll get all 6 Grubs, but yeah, looking at it, NIU does lose their sport as well with an overstay. Now NIU will go ahead and get the kill on towards Chumslog. That'll be going over towards the Sivir, and now just going back and forth with the action as top lane traded back and forth and back again with looked like Silk got the kill on towards Broccoli, then Fury got the kill on towards Silk, and then it looks like Nidalee got the kill on Fury. Just a back and forth assault here.
We're starting to see some of these first items come online, though, especially on the NIU side. So I'm looking to see if those will make a little bit more of an impact in this game.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in my eyes that is going much better in this one is that for NIU, you don't see the jungle being that far behind as you did in game number 1.
Hmm.
Now, that's not great if you got the... Oh, nicely done to actually get out of that one. Be chill and able to escape. Thought the Chains of Corruption was going to be enough damage for him to fall, but nicely done using the dredge line there by Bootware to be able to get him out of there and just disengage very quickly. NIU now going to look towards Wombat, baby. Might look to try to grab that, forcing the
Ooh,
flash. I thought that dredge line might have landed, but
yeah.
just barely. Now Fury is in a rough spot. He's down 2 levels, and this is a potential for a dive. Dash forward. Bootware can use his ulti. Dredge line forward, and now we just see Wombat Baby getting a little too aggressive. Does grab the kill, but is going to be traded back. NIU now going to look to see if they can't get something up towards the top lane with the re-gank, or with the redive. And Nidalee, yeah, they're going to properly trade aggro. There's going to be the kill going over towards the mid lane. On towards Varus, and NIU will just elect to try to grab some of these turret plates, but at 13 minutes into the game, Chumslog has already destroyed the tier 2 turret in the mid lane of NIU. Ball State definitely playing these early game comps and trying to get a lead and then not let NIU anywhere near it. Oh, extra loaded, trying to just spell shield the gold card, doesn't really matter. Nidalee gonna grab a solo kill on towards Broccoli, and really that's just the power of these early game champions getting huge leads. It'll let Ball State grab the Ocean Drake. They'll get their second dragon of the game. They'll be up about 9,000 gold, about 8.5 at this point, and they're up 13 kills here, 13 minutes into the game. They're just playing a very bloody matchup here so far.
Maybe you're going to see some river action here on topside river. Although Ball State is falling back and that dragon is going to go for them. So we'll see what comes out of this now. Fury getting attacked. Let's see this battle play out.
Yep. I mean, Silk doing a really nice job of just backing away with his W. Bootware now going to step a little too far forward. Is this going to finish? Yep, the recall is going to complete here. Silk knew he was in that general vicinity. Now teleport does come through though, so NIU might still look to play this out with the lane gank. Obviously, Silk being a little more respectful of the potential of the Nautilus Q. Ulti does come out. Dredge line also available now. That's going to be answered. And yeah, Ball State knew this was happening the entire way. They're going to get all 3 members up towards the top side. In fact, Varus was also up towards that direction. Not quite what NIU wanted, going a little over aggressive with that play, and they will get punished for it. 22-7 are the kills at 15 minutes into this game.
It's definitely tough. Big gold deficit, big kill deficit, down 2 dragons, but it is not over. There's always room for a comeback.
Absolutely. I mean, and now you're going to look to try to go in again. Yep, there's going to be the dredge line on towards Quokka. Flash, wow, once again, just extra loaded, getting caught in that Chains of Corruption off of a flash from the sport, and it will be Herald going over towards the side of Ball State, or at least started up by Ball State. Fury now going to be caught over the wall. He'll be taken to about half HP, and now, yeah, Quokka just going to dive over the wall, and that'll be even more damage coming forward. Broccoli going to try to get something, not able to do enough with that ultimate, and so Ball State will just elect to disengage here. And the problem with that is NIU has to answer the top and the bot push. I mean, while they're trying to 5-man these fights, they're losing the 3v5, and Ball State's just able to get so much damage on these side lanes that NIU really doesn't have much they can do to answer at this point in time.
And looks like Herald's going to be falling towards Ball State's side as well. Definitely another card for them to be able to use in these upcoming fights. Going to make it a lot more dangerous for NIU to leave a lane open now that this Rift Herald's in the pocket.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at it, I don't want to lose the fact that like we said to start this game, this is an extremely strong Ball State team and an
Oh yes.
extremely strong Ball State program. I mean, this is probably one of the top 3 teams in the conference, and unfortunately, the Huskies have had a rough go of it. I mean, they had game number 1 or match number 1, I should say, was Buffalo, probably one of the top 3 in the conference. Ball State, also top 3 in the conference. We play, I believe it's Akron on Saturday. So I think that's a brief reprieve where they're probably closer to even in skill with NIU.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go ahead and you get Northeastern on next Wednesday. So
Mm-hmm.
starting with the top 3 teams in the first 4 matches is always a tough way to start. But if
Mm-hmm.
NIU's mental can hold through this and they can learn from some of those matchups, they should really be in a good position to take on some of the teams that are closer to them in skill
Mm-hmm.
on paper towards the end of the semester. So
Absolutely.
we'll see how they want to play this one out. Really just trying to hold their own against this Ball State roster who at 17 and a half minutes into the game are now just going to go ahead and throw long range damage on towards the Sivir and potentially look to end the game as Broccoli now going to just get blown up. Be Chill and going to be taken very low. He's also going to die. Now, Beware almost gets one back, but he is going to fall as well. And Fury doing a nice job of just fighting the Yone. Doesn't matter in the end, as now, yep, Chumslog is going to get executed. Nicely done by Fury, able to actually grab that 1v2 kill. And now we're going to see if he's able to grab anything on towards the Yone as well with a potential overstay. Fury, not able to grab it. Just clearing waves and just an unfortunate spot to be in if you're the Huskies. I mean, that is a 8-3-8 Twisted Fate, a 8-1-10 Nidalee with a fully stacked Dark Seal. I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can do to play through this comp, especially with how behind your frontliners are at this point. NIU though will take this time now that they have a slight advantage and a slight map advantage. They're going to go ahead and use this to try to grab the Drake, their first of the game. Destiny going to be used by Twisted Fate. Now he'll be off on the side trying to flank this one. NIU going to be able to grab the objective bounty, but that's going to be Fury falling in the interim. Bootware also going to fall, and this really is going to be it for NIU. They're going to be able to flash over the wall now. That's going to be followed up by the Camille. Teleport's going to be used as well by the Yone. Triple kill over towards the side of the Varus. Shutdown goes over to Sivir, but it won't matter. That's going to be the ace. Not clean, but it will be the ace going over towards Ball State. They'll clean up this base. And at 19 and a half minutes into the game, they're going to go ahead and take game number 2 of this best of 3, and they're going to take the match. So an unfortunate outcome for the Huskies, but definitely a strong team. They put together some nice fights, and they have some things to build on for next game. And that's going to be, I believe, like I said, against Akron here on Saturday. But 9-34. We'll see if there's any more kills traded back and forth. Ball State instead elects to just kind of back away, so it won't quite be the end of the game. I was a little bit early in calling that one out, but now Ball State going to go ahead and move forward. They're going to get killed off. Graves is going to die in this engage, as will the Varus. NIU might be able to grab a little bit back, and Graves going ahead and oh no, Yone going to grab one of his own, potentially 2. That's going to be Quokka grabbing that next one. 37-11 now, and at 20 minutes and 21 seconds, now I would imagine that we're going to see Ball State ending. Nope, they're going to go for a few more kills. They'll grab one, and now is that the end?
Yeah,
Yes,
it looks like
there it
Yone
is.
will
Oh,
be ending the
Broccoli's can
game.
grab one, so at least there's some stat padding. Constellation kills. Hey, that'll be 2 for Broccoli. 13-38. Hey, there it is. It's 13-38. What an interesting number. So, all right. Well, in 2 games that were not particularly close, unfortunately, NIU did, they showed some signs of life. And, what I'll commend them for is that despite being down big early in both of those games, they didn't stop trying. They continue to show heart in each of them. And I think, as silly as that sounds, there's a lot to be said about that. And I think that they're setting themselves up for success against some of the teams in the conference that might be closer to their on paper skill level. So definitely an interesting matchup. But yeah, after all is said and done, that is going to be the match going over to Ball State 2-0.
Yeah, and like we were saying, it all just comes with the mental game. You can take the loss. You can understand that. Hey, they were just a little better than us, and you just brush it off, and you just go again next week, and you just keep going week after week, and eventually, you will get your time to shine. And I'm sure we'll see that here from NIU very soon.
Absolutely. I'm just excited to see now that Smolder's released today. I'm excited to see that here. Won't be this weekend or even I don't believe next week they'll be able to play it, but I believe in 2 Wednesdays from now they should be able to play.
Mm,
So we'll see if we get some priority on Smolder. Always fun to see new champs come into the rotation.
absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for working with me on the cast here, Austie.
Yeah,
We hope that you guys enjoyed the broadcast. Unfortunate with the outcome. We will be back once again on Saturday at 2 p.m. Unless something changes. So keep an eye on our socials for that. Um, Overwatch with Austie included will be back on Tuesday for their match at 7 p.m. So keep an eye on the channel and keep an eye on our social media and join us on Saturday from 2 to 6 in the esports arena as we host the Rocket League Rev Up in partnership with the NASCAR Chicago Street Race team. Until then, I've been Connor Vagel. With me has been Austin. Oh my goodness, why am I blanking on your last name, Austin? So sorry.
Austin Beal, Austin one two
Austin
five.
Beal, thank you. Yes,
Mhm.
Austin125. So thank you so much for working with me. We'll also, so for Saturday, I believe it'll be Farmer will be back on the broadcast. We may, I'm not sure who the other broadcaster will be since I'll be working on the Rocket League Rev Up. But next Wednesday, you and I will be back together for the broadcast and looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys then.
All right. Have a great night.